Look at this thing. And I know what you're thinking. Mate, just buy a new phone. And here's the thing, of course I could. Brands send me phones all the time to review on this channel. I've probably tested more phones on my channel than most people will ever hold in their whole lifetime. Weird flex. And every single time I come back to this. Samsung Galaxy S9. 8 years old, bought refurbished, screen shattered because of the dumbest reason I tell you later about. Fingerprint reader that works maybe 60% of the time. The earpiece speaker that sounds like it's talking to me through a tin can. And I generally believe that using this phone is one of the smartest decisions I make. Not because I'm cheap, not because I'm kind of a tech hermit living off-grid, but because of something that's been bothering me for a long time. And I think if you're watching this channel, it's probably been bothering you too. So stay with me, because at the end of this video, you'll probably look at your next phone upgrade very differently. So let's start with something that generally blows my mind every time I think about it. There's this great book called Your Money or Your Life. It's a really good book about financial mindfulness and stuff. And one of the core ideas in it is that before you buy something, calculate not just the price, but the life energy it costs you. Here's what I mean, for example. If your base pay is around $20 an hour, and I just take this as an example for a lot of Western countries, but for many countries it's way less, then the current flagship iPhone costs you 65 hours of your life. And that is when you earn $20 an hour. If it's less, then it's even more. It's not only 65 hours of sitting at a desk. That's 65 hours of getting up, getting dressed, dealing with your commute, your boss, your stress, handing every single minute of that to a phone company. 1.5 weeks, that is. And I mean, like, for what? To have the 7th camera upgrade that I didn't really much need, and the processing capacity of rendering whole Hollywood movies on my phone, which I do not do anyway. No, and I want to be clear here. I'm not judging anyone for buying a new phone. I'm generally not. I mean, I spend money on ridiculous things too. We all do. But there's a specific thing that I do want to talk about, and it's this idea, this quite annoying, creeping idea that the phone in your pocket is some form of a status symbol. Because somewhere along the way, as a society, we stopped asking, does this phone do what I need it to do? Many people, they started asking themselves, is this the right phone to be seen with? You see it everywhere. The side eye when someone pulls out a 3-year-old Android, the weird social currency of having the newest iPhone, and this disgust in people's faces when you, for example, switch from iPhone to Android. Or God forbid the other way. I kind of thought that we would grow up from this, but it's kind of only getting worse, especially with prices nowadays. Okay, now let's talk about something that nobody wants to talk about. Because the money argument, look, that's personal. You earn what you earn, you spend how you want, and I have zero place telling you what to do with your income. But the next part is bigger than any of us individually. Because studies show that the average human being replaces their phone after only 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And think about what goes into making a smartphone, mostly under horrible human rights conditions and horrible working conditions. We're talking tantalum from the Congo, cobalt, lithium, rare earth elements that take extraordinary amounts of energy and often deeply harmful extraction processes to produce. Gold, platinum, and these things are not renewable. They get pulled out of Earth at significant environmental and human costs. And here's the part that hit me hardest when I look into this. A study by Willenbacher and Wolgemuth in 2022 found that only 1 to 2% of those rare earth materials are ever recycled. 1 to 2%, that's crazy. So we dig up these incredibly precious, incredibly scarce materials, we build them into devices that most people will use for less than 3 years, and then roughly 98% of those materials just vanish into landfill, into shipping containers, sent to waste sites in countries that didn't even ask for them. I'm also not perfect. I have a couple of phones, old phones laying around in my drawers that I should technically recycle. I know that. So I'm not standing here and pointing fingers, but I think that it's really important to even picture this and know this problem in the first place. The phone market, and I say this as someone who literally reviews phones regularly on my channel, has become, I think, the purest expression of consumer culture we have right now. It is the place where need and want have become almost completely detached, where the question, does it work, has been replaced by, is this the newest? And to me, that's at least worth talking about. So, why this phone in particular? Now, I should give you some context here, because if you're new to this channel, this might seem like a contradiction. A big part of what I do here on my channel is reviewing phones specifically designed to reduce your screen time. Dumb phones, minimalist phones, light phones, whatever you want to call them, devices that are deliberately built to keep you off them. And over the years, I've tested loads of them, and some of them I've generally used as daily drivers for months at a time. And I've been generally experimenting with a lot here, and the reason I started down that road is the same reason a lot of you probably found this channel. Screen time was a real problem for me. It crept up slowly, the way it does, until I looked at my weekly report one day and just thought, that's not okay. And I've been testing so many minimalist phones over the channel and testing so many screen time apps and blockers and methods to reduce your screen time that I generally am comfortable with normal smartphones nowadays and don't feel like I have a problem with my screen time whatsoever. And I generally feel like I kind of learned my lesson and learned how to be less on your phone. And that's why I love sharing these tips here with you on this channel here. That's why my old Galaxy S9 is the phone I always come back to. But still, many people would just ask, why not replace it? Why use such an old shit phone? And the honest answer to why I still use it is almost embarrassingly simple. It does everything I need. That's it. Phone calls, navigation, messaging, music, the occasional photo. That's pretty much my entire phone use case. And this 8-year-old device handles all of it without complaint. Every time I pick up a newer device, and I pick up a lot of newer devices, I keep waiting for the moment where I think, oh, yeah, that's the feature I've been missing. And it mostly just doesn't come. Like, innovation is really rare nowadays. I mean, there's some cool new features in phones. I won't dismiss this. For example, this privacy feature in Samsung phones nowadays. But generally, there's rarely something where I feel like, oh yeah, I need that. Now, here's the funny story about why it looks like it was run over by a truck. For 6 out of the 8 years this phone has been alive, it was in perfect condition. Always used a screen protector. I always used really good case. And it, for most of the time, looked completely brand new. Then, 2 years ago, I filmed a video about screen time and digital minimalism. And I kind of thought like, the screen protector looks a bit off on camera. It looks a bit, it doesn't look that good. So just for filming, I take off the screen protector and the case. And yeah, what should I say? The phone hit the floor within 45 minutes of filming this video, and it has been looking like that ever since. What I will say is, and this is kind of generally unexpected, there's something like freeing about a phone that's already broken. I don't flinch when it drops anymore. I don't feel anxious putting it in my pocket with the keys. It's kind of stupid, but it's kind of also good for reducing that phone anxiety and kind of become a tool again instead of an object that needs to be preserved. If you like the video so far and want to see more videos about mindful tech usage, then maybe consider subscribing. It helps me on the channel a lot. And besides that, let's get back to the video. Okay, I'm not going to pretend this is all upside. I mean, I owe you at least the honest version. I think the biggest real problem with using a phone this old is security patches. Because at some point Android stopped updating this device. That means that there are known problems in the software that never will be fixed. And I know that, I accept the risks consciously, I guess, which means I try to at least handle most sensitive things on my computer instead of my phone. But I want to be straight with you, if you're doing mobile banking and accessing sensitive work, an unpatched device is a genuine risk. That's not me being dramatic, that's real. And beyond security, I mean like the physical degradation is real and accelerating. Slowly but clearly. It kind of get worse from the moment it dropped on the floor 2 years ago. The earpiece speaker is noticeably worse. The fingerprint reader is becoming unreliable. I had to get an additional power bank. And honestly, I know that I'm a bit weird about this. I just want to use it as long as possible for the reasons that I said in this video. I think I need to replace the phone this year. So once it's time, I already have a plan. And I basically want to do the opposite of what most people do. So I want to get a phone with a long update commitment. And I want to get the best case and the best screen protector so that it lasts as long as possible. So that I can generally use this phone for years on end. So I don't know, I just thought this would be an interesting video. This is no lecture. This is not about what you should do. I just kind of think that smartphones are like a perfect example of modern consumer society. We want to raise like kind of awareness on this issue. And if you like the video and want to see more on digital minimalism and how to be less on your phone in general, then I highly recommend this video right here, where I reviewed this book right here called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And it's all about how to basically be less addicted to your devices and generally be more mindful about the tech usage in your life. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check out this video. Besides that, as always, thank you so much for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.